All right, folks, we'll go ahead and get started. Call the meeting to order. And we'll start by asking if you've got a phone, if you would just check it real quick, please, and see if that volume's down or off. Your choice, your pleasure. We'll have a quick pledge to our American flag and a moment of prayer. Then we'll get right into the business here, okay? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight asking, Lord, for your grace, your mercy, as we have several families, certainly the Drake family in Madison County, Lord, that we'd like to lift up in prayer. Pray for their family, the days ahead. Give them the wisdom, the mercy. Lord, I hope that they'll look to you and cling to you this time. We ask also for some wisdom, your guidance tonight as we go through our meeting, and we pray that our conduct during the meeting, Lord, will be pleasing unto you. Watch over us as we depart. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. All right, first order of business for us tonight is approval of the minutes. You were sent, teacher, you were provided the minutes of the September 24, 2018 meeting. Once you have a chance or when you're ready, we'll entertain a motion on those minutes. Motion to approve, Chairman. I have a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a second. Are there any comments or questions regarding those? Seeing none or hearing none, Commissioner Allen?
Yes.
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 All right. I failed to mention that Commissioner Riska was under the weather, so we'll be operating without our fifth wheel tonight. Okay, unless somebody is aware of any business involving guest groups or multiple visitors, we'll breeze right on through that one. I'm not aware of any. Nor do I have anything in particular to report via the chairman's report tonight. With that, we're going to ease into the hearing and actions on rezone matters, special use permits, etc., and the Honorable Chairman.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. The first rezone request this evening is Buddy Robinson with Value Concepts is representing Spratt Bullock. They're requesting a conditional use on 64.65 acres for a cell tower. Property is located on map 31, parcel 146 on Piedmont Road in District 3. The vote of the Planning and Zoning Commission was a vote of 7-0 to recommend approval of the rezone request.
What we'll do for each of these application requests is to afford the petitioner an opportunity to speak, make their case, and then or sharing information that they want to have. They will entertain comments in opposition to it, and then give a right of rebuttal back to the petitioner. So with that, I'll ask if Buddy Robinson is here and would like to approach us.
Buddy is not here. My name is Clay Brogdon. Buddy actually works for my company. My name is Clay Brogdon. I'm the manager of construction for Southern Link Wireless. I'm here representing this project for Southern Link. I made a presentation at the Planning Commission, and because they've recommended approval, I want to be mindful of y'all's time. So I'm not going to give that presentation unless there's opposition here tonight. And if there is, then I will come back and make a presentation.
Would you spell your last name for me?
Yes, my last name is spelled B-R-O-G-D-O-N.
Okay.
Brogdon.
Thank you.
All right, sir. Well, with that, is there anybody present tonight that would like to oppose this application? All Not seeing any. Okay. Well, again, I will give you the opportunity to make the case if you felt that you needed to make another comment, Ms. Brogdon, or if you want to proceed with the vote, your choice on that.
No, again, I want to be mindful of your time, so I'd just like to proceed to the vote. Thank you for the offer, though.
Okay, very good. All right, and we'll close the public hearing and bring it back for the board here to discuss as a business item. And does anybody, any of the commissioners have any questions or comments before we take a motion on this? Or I guess we could take the motion and then have the discussion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve, and then we'll entertain comments or any consideration we need to be aware of. All right. Not seeing any. We'll go for the vote here. The motion is to approve the conditional use on 64.65 acres for the cell tower. So, Commissioner Strickland?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right, sir. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Houston?
Okay, sir, the next rezone request is Don Eberhardt is representing Elmer and Diane Hartley in their rezone request. They are requesting to rezone approximately 2 acres from their 62.42 acres. They are requesting to rezone it from A1 to RR to combine with the property of Ms. Eberhardt. The property is located on map 21, parcel 107 on Paradise Valley Road in District 2. Vote of the Planning and Zoning Commission was a vote of 7-0 to recommend approval of the rezone request.
All right, thank you. So, Don Eberhardt here?
I am.
If you'd like to come forward, please, ma'am, just let us know if anything that you wish to share regarding your application.
No, it's just adding 2 more acres to my property so that I am contiguous with the road.
Okay, and that's just to the north of your existing property, right? Okay. All right, well, very good, thank you. All right, with that, I'll ask if there's anybody here tonight that would care to speak in opposition to this request. All right, I give the last shot to Ms. Eberhardt. If there's anything, I didn't see any opposition, so you're
Thank you.
all right. We'll close the public portion of our meeting and come back behind the desk here for a vote. So the motion, the request is to rezone 2 acres of a 62.52 acre parcel and rezone that from A1 to RR.
I'd like to make a motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And a second. Is there any discussion or any question, comments on this application? All right, not seeing any, we'll go with a vote. Motion is to approve rezone from A1 to RR. Commissioner Bettis?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, the next rezone request is Bruce Patterson is representing the estate of Ronell Bowen. He is requesting to rezone 1 acre with the existing niche grocery from A2 to B. This is part of an 18.4 acre parcel on map 29, parcel 38 in District 1. The vote of the Planning and Zoning Commission was a vote of 7-0 to recommend approval of the rezone request.
All right, thank you, Mr. Houston. Mr. Patterson, present?
Yes.
The reason for the rezone is, we're attempting to sell the niche grocery property, and it was, zoned as A1 because that's what it was grandfathered as when zoning went into effect. So in order to sell it off, it'll have to be rezoned.
And you're adding, or you're increasing it by the 1 acre, is that correct?
Increasing what?
Wait a minute, he's requesting. Oh, okay, well, he's got requesting, it's just the 1 acre he's wanting to rezone, my bad. So,
Right,
just the 1 acre, I got you.
It's approximately 1 acre that would be,
Is that the portion just behind the store, like 10?
yeah, it's a property around the store
Okay.
and right behind.
No, very good, very good. All right, well, very good. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Patterson for you? Okay. All right, thank you, sir. Is there, anybody present tonight that wishes to, speak in opposition of this, application? Nobody? You satisfied with that, Mr. Patterson? Then
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, then we'll close the public hearing and ask, open the business portion and ask the board to consider the request is to rezone 1 acre, from A2. It is currently A2 though, right? I heard A, okay, A2 to B. Motion to approve, Chairman. I have a motion to approve.
Second.
And I have a second. Is there any discussion, on this rezone application? All right, don't see any. The vote is to Commissioner Pepple?
Yes.
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 All right. Very good.
Okay, the next rezone request is Tina Mazariegos. She is requesting to rezone her 5.74 acre property from R3 to A2 to allow her to keep her farm animals. Property is located on map 59, parcel 103 on Shoal Creek Road in District 5. The vote of the Planning and Zoning Commission was a vote of 5 to 2 to recommend denial of the rezone request.
All right, I'm just gonna go with Tina tonight, is that all right?
That's fine.
Okay.
I can't say my last name very well either. I usually... My name is Tina Margaritas Matrona. I bought a piece of property in Shoal Creek at 1484 Shoal Creek. We have had the property for a little bit over 2 years. During that time, we've had our sheep and goats there and 2 donkeys that we rescued. Our daughters are involved in Colbert Elementary, and they're also involved in the 4-H at Colbert Elementary. One is the vice president, which is Abby, and Sophia is the one that is the secretary. The most of all is we want to zone the land so that we can be in the right zoning that we have for our animals. And doing my studies and coming to the meeting from before, I found out around me in a 1.5 mile period, there are 73 A1 zones, and my property is, from what I've been told, is zoned wrong. I do not have city water, I do not have city sewage, I have a septic tank, I have well water, and within a few months, we'll have a home up on top of the hill for all of us to live there. We do have the sheep there, we do have Shoal Creek that runs through there for the sheep for water. We get the hay delivered from us from Mr. Chap Bug and Mr. Alex Allen, depending on which one can get it to us the quickest. Don't really have much to say. I brought a few people that could say what type of character I am. And if you have any questions for me, I'm more than willing to answer any questions that you have.
Please, go ahead.
On the application, the address is 2195 Erastus Church Road.
Yes, sir.
Do you live at Shoal Creek now, or?
No, we do.
Animals there?
We got the animals there. We go and check on them 3 times a day. If the weather's bad, we go more. And depending if they're having babies too, we go more. Sometimes we spend the night there. In tents. We do have a building up there on top of the property. It did have another building on it. We tore it down just because it wasn't safe. We had it tested for asbestos and lead through UGA, and they told us that it didn't have neither. It would be an environmental cost to either neighbor or us. So we burnt it when We can do it in December when it's nice and wet and cold.
How many animals you got?
We've got 3 sheep, 3 goats, and 2 donkeys.
But you do plan to build there, or in the process, or?
We're in the process of getting it moved over there.
What is your residence now?
2195 Erastus Church Road, which is my daughter's trailer right now.
Is that Madison County?
It's on the line of Madison County and Jackson County.
Okay, go ahead, do you have any other questions? Any other questions? All right, thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
Is there anybody present tonight that wishes to speak in opposition of this rezone request?
Others in court first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If there are any.
My bad. Hold that thought, I'll get right there too. Are there any others that are here to speak in favor? Would anybody like to speak in favor of this rezone request? Okay. We recognize the moral support then, how about that? Okay. Okay, now we'll proceed to those that may want to speak in opposition. Come forward, ma'am. I failed to mention, if you would just give us your name and address.
My name is Bree Alexander. I live at 1466 Shoal Creek Road. I live on the property that runs right next to her property. I bought the property back in 2007 and have lived there ever since. I own 5.6 acres. The way that our lots are set up is not ideal for agricultural animals. Her animals have been there for the past year in violation of code. In that time of violation, animal control has been up there. The zoning commissioners have been up there. When Mr. Huff came up there, they actually found a dead animal on her property. There is possibly a well on that property, but it has not been used since I've been there, and that was 2007. And there has not been a home or a trailer or anything that's been in that vicinity since I've been there in 2007. The creek that runs through it is very stagnant, and I have pictures to show you what the actual property looks like. The road frontage from our property is roughly about 133 feet. So the way our properties run very narrow and thin and then turn. So if I literally walk out of my car, within less than 50 feet, I'm on her property line. So her animals have been right on my property line. There have been several occasions when they've gotten off, ended up in my backyard. In fact, the sheriff had to call animal control on Thursday evening because one of her dogs was up on my property, broke through 2 gates and hopped into my 5-foot fenced-in area. Ideally, it's just mostly woods. There's not a lot of land or forage for these guys to have on the way that our properties are. I'm the one that butts right up next to Mr. Hart, so I have 5.6, hers is a 5.74 acres. So I would like to have some of my peace back in my household where I don't feel like I can't walk out into my own yard and have things coming out in my yard, because it literally is right on my yard line. And I'd be more than happy to show you all pictures if you wanted to see what the lot looks like. I have pictures from where her animals are actually being detained right now. And she does have a court date that was postponed due to the hearing of both of these for the dead goat that they found on the property. Also, I've also looked into it. The majority of the properties right in our general vicinity are either zoned or are zoned residential, and 0.9 miles up, they're about to put in a subdivision that's going to have over 40 houses built onto this property as well, into this general vicinity as well. So most of the little lands around us, even if there's a couple that are zoned A1 or A2, they're ideally not fit for farm animals out there either. They just have a small little 2 acres or so. So that is all I have to say.
I have a question, if you don't mind.
Yes.
What's your property zoned?
Mine is also zoned in R3. So my property, and then Miss Linda Mason, who couldn't be here this evening, she actually lives on the opposite side of her. She had to work in Atlanta. Hers is also zoned R3, and the property next to them is also zoned R3, and the next property that the investment company that she leases her land from owns that property as well, and all of those are zoned R3. All the way down from Mr. Hart's to Hardman Morris are zoned R3.
And the goat situation, was that, I mean, goats and sheep are born looking for a place to die, whether it's a monkeys.
Oh, I know, but there was multiple ones that have passed away out there. It's not just that particular one. There's been multiple.
works for an animal clinic. I think she knows what she's talking, I mean, yeah, I think you're, have an interest in animals.
Yeah. I work at a mixed animal practice, so we see it every day. But I can show you pictures if you were interested in seeing pictures.
Yeah, I would like to see. I've got the Google Map.
This is my actual backyard, and this gate is in. Here's some information for the animals. And I'll show you my property line. My property line is right here, right where these trees are. That's my property line. And then there's the actual, I took them from my property, looking over their property. That's where their house at right now. And this is a picture of the creek that goes through the back side of the property as well.
Cool. Anybody have any other questions for Ms. Alexander?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anybody else tonight that would like to speak in opposition? Yes, sir.
My name is Roy Wampel. I live at 1550 Shoal Creek Road.
Can I get your name again, sir?
Excuse me,
Your name again?
Roy Wampel, W-A-M-P-O-L-E.
Thank you.
Okay. And I can't attest to the condition of any of the animals or anything like that, but I can attest to the geometry of the lots. They're long and narrow. Those 3 lots, I live in the 3rd lot over, so I have the 2 lots, and the other 3 lots, they curve behind mine. So they're long, narrow, and they have that bend. Also in the forage, they're mostly wooded lots, so they're really not agricultural lots. They're wooded lots. They're, unless they were extensively cleared and extensively planted, they're not agricultural lots. So that's pretty much the only point that I have to make on it. Thank you.
All right, thanks, sir. Is there anybody else here tonight that would like to speak in opposition? We will return to Tina if you'd like to address any of the remarks or make any additional remarks.
I would, and I'd also like to see the pictures that Bree has. She's been told by 4 different officials from the county to stay off my property. I have pictures too, and we didn't start having problems till 16 weeks ago. We had 2 animals die, one in the winter. It was the baby that was born because it was too cold outside. It was fine when we left it. Come back the next morning, it was inside a shelter. We had it tarped over. The next morning, it was dead. So I don't know if she was in labor too long after she had it, or something was wrong with the little girl. I had another one die because the uterus was turned, and I have her son with me where I'm at now. I've had 3 animals that have died up there with bubbles coming out of their mouths, and according to UGA, that's a sign of being poisoned. And they get fed hay, but I would like to see the pictures that she has, because these are my pictures, and all these pictures are taken within the last 3 months. And the thing with the animal control, she called animal control over 100 times in an 11-week period. Each time animal control come out, they found nothing. The time that Jack came out, he found a sheep that was fine that morning, but that afternoon was found on top of my culprit dead. She did not go to the creek with him, but in the last meeting, she said that she went with the creek with him. It's not true. He said he did not take nobody down to the creek with him. He went by himself. And the ticket that I got was for an R3 rating. I didn't get a ticket for an animal dying. I've never got a ticket for abuse of an animal or neglect. I've had Ken Vaughn come out, took pictures. There's nothing wrong with the animals. He said that they're well fed. I've had Aaron Gray come out, check the animals, check the water. Everything was fine. I had Jack Hub come out, do the same thing, and he said, I hate to give you the ticket, but I got to give you the ticket because it was brought up by your neighbor. So he wrote me the ticket, and yes, it is held off till the 16th. And also, Lieutenant Chris Guest has also told her to stay off the property. But she's kind of like in a fog and still keeps going over there. That's why, another reason why I'm trying to get some other stuff in line so I can get up on the property, so I can put more cameras up there. I've had 4 cameras stolen off the property. So this time, I'm going to put cameras up everywhere, and I'm going to put electricity on the fence.
How long do you have the animals on there for?
I would say after we cleaned the property off, we got the property in January, we got it, most of it cleaned off, and we moved them about August last year.
And you immediately got a complaint after that, is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't get a complaint, from her till 15 weeks ago. This was August last year, not August this year. I mean, it got so bad with animal control coming, I just told them where the key was, told them to call me and tell me they were gonna be there, and just go. I have nothing to hide. So they would go. They'd call me and say, we just left your property, we locked the gate, we put the key back where you told us to put it. There's nothing found. I said, thank you. Because I just had major back surgery on August 3rd.
And it's always been designated R3.
I was told that it was designated wrong in 94, 95 when they did it.
I'm just saying right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But my animals, where they're at, she can't even see them. By request of Aaron Gray, the animal control officer, she told me to run another fence over the hill so she couldn't see them at all. Maybe it would cut down on all this. But it didn't. And talking about my dog getting loose, last week my dog did get loose. I had left the property a little before 6, and I got a call, 8:08 from the sheriff's department, tell me that he was loose. We went down in the woods, all his stuff was connected to him, even the stuff right here. His long line was connected, and he's a runner. He come from Loganville, and they had told us that he was a runner, so we had to leave him on a long tether. He's on a 300-foot line.
I'll give you just another minute or so on these pictures here.
That's fine. And I also take all the animals to UGA when I find out they have a problem. And I paid over close on
denying your love and care for animals. It's, it's R3 and you have other R3s around you,
I understand that. But there's people with less property than me that have an A2 that's only 1 acre. Some of it's even 1 acre.
I'm just focusing on this.
I mean, we have 7 chicken houses less than a mile from my house where we're gonna be living. And one of the complaints was they were stinking, but, I mean, they they're animals, but they don't eat any kind of meat protein, so all they're eating is hay and feed that we give them during the winter.
Is there anything else?
Unless somebody wants to say something other than that.
This would be your chance to rebut, and that's all.
That's fine.
You're fine. No, you're fine. Okay. All right, well, then we'll close the public hearing and open up the business portion of this. And so the motion that's on the table right now, the request is to rezone 5.74 acres from R3 to A2.
I make a motion to deny.
Okay, I have a motion to deny.
I'll second get the discussion, Chairman.
I have a second. All right, any comments or discussion on this one?
I just really wish that she went up front before she got the animals over there. Because I do have a heart for, you got your animals over there, that does pull that little bit. Looking at the land when you got it, got to make sure that we look at those things first, before we get that property. And that's kind of where I'm stuck. And I just don't know, it's all, there could be a house built, we're in the process, not even living there. It's a tough one.
As far as the way the animals are being treated, from the pictures, I don't really see anything.
Oh, I'm saying
that. I'm just saying, I'm stating that.
I got you.
The way they're being fed. Goats are gonna eat grass to the ground, so will horses. And say you're there 3 times a day, I assume you're taking care of them.
Yes, sir.
Goats are gonna die. Goats are hard to maintain there.
I mean, I love my animals. The reason I got this type of sheep, they're highly resistant to disease. So it takes something desperate to kill them.
Well, they're heavily parasitic, so they're gonna think you have to, it's a constant battle to keep them alive.
Is there any other discussion, any other comments? Okay, the motion that's on the table right now is a motion to deny and a second. And with that, the vote goes to, Commissioner Strickland?
This is a vote to deny.
The vote is to deny.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
No. Yes.
No. My math says that's a 3-2 to let the rezone go forward. Is that correct?
Well, it's a 3-2 to voting down the motion to deny. You still need that other motion.
No, that's incorrect. You're correct. You're correct. So the request then is still to rezone the property, and it would take a motion, a second, and a majority vote to make that change.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a second to that. Any further discussion on this rezone application? This is a motion and a second to actually approve the R3 to A2.
Did everybody talk to their phone, or P&Z members? Okay. Just saying, if you did not have to, so I was just wondering, if everybody stuck to their own rep.
I know how I voted.
Okay. I wasn't just.
Any other comments or questions or discussion on that? Motion is to approve. The vote is to Commissioner Bettis.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes. So if you followed that, it's a 3-2 to approve the rezone. Okay, are there any other applications? No. Okay. All right.
Mr. Chairman, I've got a question for Lamar and Linda. A few meetings back, we had an issue come up where we wanted to rezone or change the zone for kennels. And the board voted 5-0 to send it to P&Z for them to look at and come back to the Board of Commissioners with a request or whatever. And we haven't heard anything from that. I was wondering was there some holdup or?
I actually brought it before the P&Z for, and told them what the board had done after I had listened to, the video, and it has only been for discussion, and we will be discussing it again tomorrow night.
So, but what was the holdup? I know it's been several meetings back, and I've had people ask me about it, and,
I'm quite aware there's a lot of, for some reason, a lot of people pushing for this. It's just, they have got to discuss it and decide what they want to bring forward.
It just appeared on our agenda at our last business meeting. Our last
September 18th.
it was on the last agenda for the PZ.
September 18th.
Was there a reason why it was held up like that?
I was not bringing it before them until I could hear the video, because I'd had a lot of people say this and to say this and this, and then Rhonda made me aware that I could go online and view the video, and I wasn't bringing it before them until I heard exactly what y'all said.
No, okay. I know it was a 5-0 vote to send it to P&Z to,
You feel like with the
recommendation.
You feel like the meeting tomorrow, then there would be a forthcoming recommendation from
Not
the
necessarily.
Okay.
It was just at the
Okay.
end of August, you know, so I know, yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right. We're on to the roads update portion. I'm sorry, for those of you who would like to step out, feel free at this time. We'll give them a minute here.
Right, I agree with you. I agree with you. Thank you for asking the question. Oh, back to Kim. Yeah, thank you. You beat it to the punch.
Excuse me.
All right. Back to the commissioners here, road updates or roads update.
I got a road update. I had a call yesterday, the day before yesterday, so we're able to drive across the T. William Bridge now.
They're, and just, you know, and they were able to get that box culvert in. They still have the, what are the walls at the end? Head wall? Is that what that is? At the end of the culvert, they still have those, coming in. I'm not sure, they may have limited access across there, but they did in fact get the pipe installed and got it filled back in. So, I think that's the last of the bridges or the roads that were out due to the most recent weather issues we had. Talked with Ed Heath. Ed is a regional representative for BOC projects in Madison County. And he states that we're probably a month to 6 weeks away yet on the widening effort at Shiloh, Jones Chapel Shiloh Road.
That's when they started then.
About a month to 6 weeks is what he said today. That was his update today.
When the cold weather then.
We are. And I'm not sure what prompted that, but we asked for an update today, and that was the latest on that.
What road was that?
Jones check.
Jones check.
Any other updates? I'll still encourage you as much as you can. I do have some of the requests for elementary projects. Still like to flesh that list out a little bit more before we start ranking and stacking. We're going to be submitting an application as soon as we have those requests. Any urgent matters? All right. Statements and remarks from citizens. Doesn't have to be an agenda item or whatever. I will ask that I see a number of people in the room, if we can keep it close on our time, but we'll let people go as long as we can. But okay, go ahead, Stanley.
On August 27th, I came up here and spoke on 3 items. One was the whole fire department. One was you could reapply for rezone if you were denied, and the other one was the the kennel would be in the ag zoning, because you have 150,000 chickens under the Department of Agriculture. I don't know why you can't have 3 dogs on the Department of Agriculture. And item number 7 was on the agenda, and it was voted on by all 5 members. The thing that concerned me a little was the fact that to put a kennel, you had to have 20 acres. The kennels we have, one of the more prominent kennels we have on Nowhere Road is Four Seasons. It's on 2.8 acres. Some of the other counties have them there in 2 or 3 acres. You go to Athens, you're going to find them a lot smaller because of the business. It's business zoning. But I kind of question why you have to have 20 acres to put a kennel. Now, I'm not interested in putting a kennel anywhere. So I went by planning and zoning to check to see what their feelings were on this, or to see if they had made any decision, and they said it had been pulled. That they had been contacted by a commissioner to hold off on it, and they would handle it. And
Did you say they'd been contacted by a commissioner to stop?
That's what I was told. To hold off on it, and that they were, and they were not going to address it. And then when the meeting was held, they did not address it. Usually in that time frame, you have it on this agenda. But the fact that the 20 acres, I wonder why you have kennels on 2.8 acres, and now you gotta have 20 acres. If you're gonna move it to ag zone, why not leave it as ag zone? What does 20 acres do? The kennel over there, the land value is $18,939 for the 2.8 acres over there. That would be a little unfair if somebody wanted to go into kennel business and have to buy 20 acres of land. They bought it at $4,000 an acre. They're spending $80,000 on the land, and that's not even counting the building. I just don't see the reasoning behind that, and so I was going to speak on that, but I was told in the planning and zoning office that it was being held up, and so maybe it'll be on next month, but it's holding it up. It's taking 2 months, at least 2 months on something that normally takes 1 month. But I'd like to understand why 20 acres.
Being this part of the meeting, we can't say anything back there, right? Anyway.
No, this is an opportunity to make statements and remarks in the interest of brevity. If everybody wants to speak, I probably, if you want to contact the commissioners, I'd feel free to contact them and see what their opinions are on it.
The way she explained it to me, it was brought to her by a commissioner, and maybe they need to talk to that commissioner, but I'm sure this will be back probably next month.
Right. And after they meet tomorrow night, we'll know more too.
Got a question, Brother Attorney. Does one commissioner, excuse me, have the authority to, after it's a 5-0 vote, to go to the planning and zoning and tell them, don't do that, hold it up, and let's do it later? Do they have the authority to do that?
Can I address this? I think I know where they're going with this. It was on the September 18th, me and the attorney had discussed, basically what happened was before we voted on it 5-0, I thought that we could take it, get the planning and zoning, look at it, go through the process. What we needed we needed the process of what was most legal, was that we needed to come up here and get a vote from the commissioners as a whole, because one commissioner can't do that by themselves, and got that vote. Then after that, they haven't seen it, because Linda told me that she wanted to look at the video and see what exactly happened. She didn't want to take anybody's word on it, just like what she said here a while ago.
I had talked to Linda or Lamar either one till tonight. I didn't know anything about it.
I understand, but what had happened was, it actually was before our 5-0 vote. It was, she put that on there for them to discuss, and I talked to Mike, and Mike suggested that what we do is pull that back, because I should have done it a little different way, and me being kind of a rookie at this, I didn't realize that, and I wanted to do it proper, so I came to him, and so that's why we did it, went back. They took it off of that 18th agenda because of that, and then we voted on it, and now they put it back on.
So shouldn't that have come back before the board to vote to hold it up and not do it?
Well, actually, that happened.
Can one commissioner have the authority to go to planning and zoning and say, don't do that?
They don't, and that didn't happen. It was before everything happened, it was one commissioner. I think what
Commissioner Allen's saying, and this would be correct, is that one commissioner can't tell the P&Zs to put something on their agenda or to take it off. So I advised him not to tell them to consider that until the board voted and told them to consider that.
I always ask counsel when I'm not sure, because I would hate for allegations to be made or something to be made and me get in trouble for something like that.
Well,
I don't do that. So
like I said, I have talked to Lamar about it until tonight.
I just wanted everything to be clear.
Yeah, I just wanted.
We're looking at things from 30, from 1,000 foot, not 30.
I think we're in violent agreement again.
I think we are too.
All right, folks, anybody else want to address is there statements from anybody else?
Hi, my name's Kyle Walter. I'm originally from Iowa. I reside in Dansville. I think if the county's gonna offer free livestock burial, that, there should be a fee for it. Why spend money to go out there and do this when it's way outside the scope of what the road department is supposed to be doing?
Okay. Without answering or responding to I don't know if there was a question in there. It sounded like a remark to me, and I don't want to get into a question-answer session. I will tell you that a decision was made back in September of last year to continue the service without a fee. A subsequent discussion during the budget session this year was to consider budgeting for it, setting aside money. And the board elected to forego that, but that they would consider bringing this up at a future date. So I don't know if to my knowledge, and the board can correct me, I don't know that anybody has had any conversation or any discussion regarding putting it back on an agenda or the timing of it. I'm not saying they're not, I'm just saying I don't know, as far as when that's going to take place, but there was a decision back in September, almost to the September 25th of last year, that the decision was made that they elected not to charge a fee or discontinue the service. So that what I'm saying is there may be further discussion on that coming forward.
I believe I lost that vote too.
Will that be in the paper, or will there be a...
Absolutely, and like I said, it'll be in the paper.
This is not time for us to ask questions, right?
I work at your pleasure here. I'm just saying this,
I just wondered what your beef is with it. I mean, you bury cows for it.
No, I just think it should be, if it's way outside the scope of where the road part, I can understand if it's in the road or on the right of way, but if it's in somebody's property,
yeah,
that's their issue.
Do you have cattle?
Nope.
Have you ever had cattle?
Nope.
Have you ever had a farm? Been on the farm, worked on the farm, had anything to do with the farm? Just checking. Can't understand where you come from, just trying to. Something we've done for a long time.
All right, thank you. Is it Kyle?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Is there anybody else that'd like to speak tonight?
Yeah, my name's Jimmy Walker. I'm at Boy's Daddy.
Okay.
And yeah, I've worked on farms. I've done all kinds of stuff on farms. I buried cows, I buried horses, I buried everything you think of. I buried people for 25 years. I don't understand why you can take the county equipment out on a private property and do anything. You're not allowed in my driveway to scrape my driveway. You're not allowed in my yard to dig up stumps. Why is the county allowed to go on private property and bury cows? And I understand, I've been through this before. This is agricultural county. That's what I've been told. If this is agricultural county, you've only got one farmer lives in this county that produces food to feed the world. That's the chicken farmer. Only in you guys. There ain't enough cows. What that means, so what, 100,000 chickens? Okay, how many chickens in the average house? 40,000, 50,000. How many farmers got that many cows that they can kill and feed the country? All they're doing is growing hay on the farm to feed the cows so they can pay the taxes on the property. Plus, they get a heck of a discount by putting it on the farm. I know Jackson County gives 40% off their taxes. I don't know what Madison County does, but I'd like to have 40% off my taxes, wouldn't you? I mean, that'd be great. Well, that's what I'm saying. We need to check into this thing and be fair and be honest with everybody.
It's also a health issue, remember.
Good. I'm glad you brought that up. When my septic tank's running over my front yard, that's a worse health hazard than that dead cow laying out there in the field. You gonna come fix it for me? I mean, seriously, I'm not trying to be hard on the farmer or nobody. I'm just saying, look, realize what you're looking at and what you're doing. I pay taxes just like the farmer does, and everybody else in my county does, but they told me they could go do it for free. You got a backhoe, you got a tractor, you got the trailer, and 2 men most of the time. And I've seen this with my own eyes. If you ain't real careful, there'll be a pickup truck with 3 men that come along but be with them. I've experienced it. Been sitting right there in the house.
You see it again, call me.
I'll do that, but that's, well, all I'm trying to say is, look, just be fair with everybody. Don't, I understand the farmer's getting a good break of his deal, because he gets at least 34% off his taxes.
They need to do that.
Well, if you put your property on the farm,
conservation,
okay, you get taxes all right.
It can make it land.
You get taxes rolled off, right? I can't
We
remember.
don't get taxes written off.
We ain't charged as much.
Just a little bit more to it.
I'll know, because I'll research it and find out for you.
Okay.
And I'll know everything about it when I come back, and I will be back.
No.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Look forward to it.
All right. Anybody else like to speak?
Marion Baker, 3255 Highway 29, South Colbert, Georgia. I have heard there was gonna be some discussion on this issue tonight. And that's based reason. I know it, but I wanted to see who would bring it up, and I just got a question. Are you in backhoe business or something?
I'm
retired now.
Y'all talk this way.
I was just wondering if he was trying to drum up business.
No, I'm retired.
We've had cows as long as I remember. There's been no kids in school, no kids at the rec department. I mean, we pay a lot of taxes and a lot of services. It is paid for by our taxes. I mean, to use that service twice in all the years I remember. Once was this past November when somebody opened the gate on the highway on Sunday night. That gate's now padlocked. And I called them. They said, we'll call you when we got a truck going that way. They called late that afternoon. They was on their way in. They stopped by. I had the cow back there where I wanted it buried. And in just the last 10 years, that property that those cows were on has paid between $40,000 and $50,000 in taxes. I mean, is that asking too much for our service, for our tax money, that little service? The sheriff don't never go out there. No, no problems there, so why shouldn't we get a little benefit? Evidently, they're trying to drum up business. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else tonight?
just wanted to, I guess, make a comment about the last rezone request that was in tonight. I'm part of the P&Z board, and I'm not for or against. I made my vote based on the information that we had before us, and you all have found saying I do understand that. But I just want to remind you all that, be careful, that we're not getting into spot zoning. Because all those properties around there was R3. And you start doing that, then you get into spot zoning. So, you made your decision. The final decision is yours. But we heard a lot more information than you did. That's the reason the vote was 5-2. But taking my P&Z hat off, I'm not for or against. Just trying to make decisions based on what was put before us. And I'm sure you did the same thing. But be careful when you make those decisions that we don't get into this spot zoning type deal. Then you're going to have a big headache on your hands. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? I already put a check mark through it, folks, so we're gonna move on. Executive session, sir?
Yes, sir.
I want to need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion and a second. Commissioner Bettis?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
All right, we're adjourned, folks. Thank you.